Today, I'm going to give you some of the correct information about some of the rarities and the things you can look for and how likely it is that you'll ever find one. Remember that misconceptions can cost you a ton of money, or worse, it can make you look like a blabbering idiot. Oh, but the guy on Instagram said that if I find a no mint mark 72 penny, that I'll be worth thousands. Not likely. You have to understand the difference between proof coins and circulation coins. We're going to be talking about that as well. And again, things are rare because, well, they're hard to find. So again, keep this in mind as we explore the top 10 modern day coins that you may not know about. All right, number 10 is one that most likely, if you've done anything with coin collecting, you've probably seen or heard about this coin, and that is the 2000p Cheerios dollar. That is the Sacagawea dollar. Now, this is a special one, and it was put into Cheerios boxes. But did you know that many people have information on this coin wrong? That's correct, wrong. They see that the only way to detect it is to look at the cross-hatching pattern. I've actually said that in the past. And it wasn't until I learned more about this coin that there's actually more than one Cheerio dollar. In fact, there were a couple different design elements that were done, and the only way truly to identify it is to look at the packaging and to look at the markers that are located on that particular one. So again, there's a lot of misinformation out there. What's your likelihood of finding one? Well, there were about 5,500 of these minted, and only about 200 of them are known to be found. So while they could be out there, at this juncture, it's probably going to be very hard to prove that you do, in fact, have a Cheerios dollar. All right, let's go to number 9. Number 9 is something that many people may not have heard about. This is the 1990 proof No S Lincoln cent. Now, I want you to pay attention to the word proof. This is going to come up a couple times in this discussion. So again, understand that proof. You're most likely not going to find this in your pocket change. This is not something you're going to find in your circulating coinage. This is going to be found in proof sets. And again, proof. It's not in the realm of impossible to find, more like improbable. You can find these, but most of the time, because they're in the proof sets, they're easy to look at. And most of the proof sets have been combed over. So again, I'm not telling you not to look for it. I'm just telling you to understand that if you find a 1990 no mint mark, it's probably Philadelphia. And again, you have to understand the difference between proof and circulating coinage. If you want to know the difference between those, put something down in the comments below and we can talk about that in another video. All right, let's move on to number 8. Number 8 is also another proof coin, and this is the 1968 No S Roosevelt dime. Now, this is one, again, that's worth thousands if you can find the right one. But again, this No S mint mark has to be on a proof. And there are certain telltale signs that tell you whether or not it is a proof coin or not, even if it's been circulated for quite some time. But again, the likelihood that you're going to find one of these, slim to none. This is more on the none scale than on the slim end. The reason for that is there's only 12 known to be in existence. And just because you have a 1968 with no mint mark doesn't mean that you have this coin. It means you probably have one from Philadelphia. All right, let's go to the next one. Now, this is one that I think everybody on here should probably know about, and that is the 1969 S doubled die Lincoln cent. This is a very popular coin, and I'm sure that if you're a treasure seeker or if you like looking at coins, you've probably looked at a couple of these on your own. But there's a couple of things that I want to talk to you about. Number one, granted that there are opportunities for you to find doubled dies, but just not the big one. Again, you can look at things like Lincoln cents, you can look at copper coins, you can look at Wexler's or Variety Vista, and you can see that there are very specific elements to this particular coin. And just because there's some doubling on it doesn't mean that you found the Grand Master of the 1969S, the DDO number 1. It doesn't mean that you found that. Again, there are other ones. Go check out some of those other sites. Now, how rare is this? Well, out of all the ones minted, there have only been 35 found. But again, make sure that you're looking at, talk to a coin expert. And again, if you ask a coin expert, do I have this? And they say no, be gracious, right? Because again, you went to them to ask them about that. They can help you find some amazing treasures But again, let's be nice to the people that are supporting us. All right. The next one is a fun one. This is also a Sacagawea dollar, but this is a different kind of cool coin. This is the Sacagawea dollar quarter mule. Now, this also happened in 2000. Now, if you're not familiar with what a mule is, it's not a jackass. It's where a coin has a different obverse and reverse coinage. So, for instance, in this case, it has the front of the quarter, it has the back of the Sacagawea dollar. These are two die pairings that are not meant to be together that have actually come together. And if you find one, ooh, talk about money. But the rarity, there's only ever been 11 of these found. And matter of fact, it's going to be very, very hard to find because almost all of them are owned by one person. So again, keep an eye out. They are out there. You can still find these out in the wild, but just remember, they're rare. They're very rare. And so the likelihood of you finding them is nigh improbable. It's going to be very difficult for you to find, but keep searching for them. Keep looking for them. Just understand the ability for you to potentially find one. Very, very few of these types have ever been found. There are other famous mules. We're not going to talk about all of those today. But this next coin is one that I bet very few of you have even heard of. In fact, I bet fewer people have heard of this coin than the number one coin on my list. So stay tuned to the number one coin and you tell me if I'm right down in the chat below. This is the 2000 W Sacagawea dollar. Oh, wait, hold on. We've talked about that before. And did I say W? Yes. Oh, did I also mention it's 22 karat gold? Yeah, an actual gold Sacagawea dollar. There were 39 of these created. And the original plan was to sell these as gold, right? To sell them to the general public. However, after a little bit of time, they decided they were going to squash the idea and they opted not to do it. But what they did do is the mint looked through all of these coins and they chose the 12 best ones and they shot them off in space with Shuttle Columbia in 2001. Now, on August 31st, 2001, they came back down and they were transported to the infamous Fort Knox, where they would only come out once to be specially showcased at an American numismatic coin show in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Now, the likelihood that you'll ever find one of these, 0. They're an extremely rare coin. There are 12 of them. They're under lock and key. But again, it's absolutely fabulous. Now, there's always conspiracy theories that maybe somebody didn't actually destroy one of these, but no, it's not really happening. This is the only coin in this particular series, though, that's gone 1.8 million miles into outer space. And that alone makes it one of my favorite coins in this set. All right, the next one is the 1976 No S Eisenhower dollar. It is also a proof coin. And the likelihood of you ever finding one of these? 0. Why is that? Well, because there's only one. They were never supposed to be distributed. They were actually supposed to be destroyed. But one was found in a department store in 1977. Conspiracy theorists unite. Is this something that maybe number one has in common with this coin? Maybe. When we get there, we'll talk about it. The difference between this coin and number one is the rarity. Hopefully that interests you a little bit. They should like this. All right, let's go to the next one. Now, this is a coin that I'm sure you've all heard about many times. You've probably looked in your pocket change for this particular one and will understand that the likelihood that you'll ever find one is slim to none. And even though there were 1.5 million originally minted, every one of these is required by law to be destroyed. And that is the 1974 Lincoln aluminum cent. Now, there's only one known, and it is potentially illegal to own because they were ordered by Congress to all be destroyed. They were experimental planchets, and they were all required to be destroyed. But there is one. So again, if you have one or somebody says that they find one, and you're going to see people who have coated these in zinc and they say that they have one, and you'll see you'll see people with sets that they've created to try and fool people to believe that their things are sold as novelties. Be very leery about this. The likelihood you'll have one of these is slim and none. But again, if you do find one, it's important that you report it because, again, they could be illegal to own. And if you get caught with one of these, there is a law requiring all these to have been destroyed. So FYI on that one. All right, number 2, we're down to only 2 coins left, and we're back to another proof coin. And this is the 1975 NOS proof dime. Trivia question. Are there any circulating dimes that were not proof, that were found with no mint mark? We'll talk about it in just a second. This 1975 NOS proof dime was, again, it's another rarity, and there were only 2 of them found. And you'll hear this in various other channels where they talk about the rarity of this coin and the value of this coin, and you could find this in your pocket change, and I'm here to tell you it's probably not likely. It's number 2 in rarity in the modern day era because there's only 2 of these that have ever been found. But of the rarity and of the ones that have been found, they're extremely expensive to the tune of $350,000. But again, very highly publicized auction. Can you find one of these? Most likely not. But still, you have more chance of winning the lottery twice than to find one of these particular coins. All right, at this point, if you like so far what you've been seeing, smash that subscribe button, follow the channel, make sure you're hitting that notification bell, because as we talk about the first coin in this, remember on coin 5, I said that coin 5 was probably more elusive than this particular coin here. And why did I say that? Because this is the infamous, the conspiracy field 1964D peace dollar. Now, the 1964 peace dollar was actually created as a general run. It had 316,076 of these minted during this time frame, and again is undoubtedly the most controversial coin on this list. So again, there are some that they believe found their way out of the mint, and they talk about nefarious people who took other coins and put it on there because they destroyed them by weight and not necessarily by the number of coin. So people have their conspiracy theories about some of them being out there. But again, there are none known to exist. PCGS even put a thing out for $10,000 many years ago saying, if you have one, we would like to look at it and inspect it, when they had no takers. Again, this is potentially illegal to own. So if you ever happen to find one, well, it's probably not authentic. So be very careful with this. There are eBay listings listing these, and they're all Chinese counterfeits. So be very aware that this is likely not a coin you will ever see, but it is the #1 rarity. And I love that they put this in the #1 spot. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know more about this peace dollar, then this video right over here, I talk a lot about this coin. I talk about the specifics, talk about the history. Go check that out. Matter of fact, you know what? Click on this button right here and I'll see you over there.